coming forward together. So your ski is at maximum speed at that point. You want to keep it at the maximum speed. So plant your hand before it stops, and you can maintain that timing a little bit better. Also, by almost hyperextending your knee here, you're able to keep your ski going without any extra effort or having to carry your load. That's also... So for striding, it's important that we learn how to take our weight and move it from side to side. So this is going to be a little different than probably you've ever heard before, but it's one of my theories of how to do this properly. So if you lift up all of your limbs, so you just have one foot on the ground, you have 100% of your weight on one foot. If you plant your pole, take up 10% of your weight onto your pole, so now your foot is at 90. As your pole is being transferred through the pulling cycle, it's absorbing more and more of your weight, like a balance scale. It's absorbing more of that weight. So by the time it gets to more of your body mass, it should be absorbing maybe 40%, closer to 50, and by increasing the pull pressure on your hand and your strap, that's what you want to use to drive your leg forward. Don't worry about compressing your ski in your kick pocket. Work on keeping that pressure on your pole to drive your opposite foot forward. When you do that, now you're taking all of your body weight and back to 100% on your opposite ski. Plant your pole immediately, start absorbing that weight. So you're going to be taking your weight off of your foot, through your body, through your hand, back through your foot, and so on and so forth. It's similar to a figure eight motion, letting your energy go through all of your equipment, and you'll flow over the course, classic style, easier.
So here, pay attention to how the foot is still moving forward and the pole is planted, extending that glide. So the pole plants before the foot stops. That's really important. And also increasing the pole pressure as the hand bypasses the hip. The lower the angle of the pole towards the ground, the more forward directional force you are going to get. I've prepared this chart to show the timing difference between the pole and the foot shift. So here's an example of how most people do it. Not that it's wrong, it's just different. And here's an alternative way that I've been teaching. It's a much different timing and different body position. There it is again, and there's the change.
So as a self-checking cue, if you're waiting to plant your pole, you're wrong. You'll have less back tension as well if you ski more like this and less like this. So with the increase of new technology, we've then started to stand up more, and that's why you're seeing more people gliding and pausing to plant their pole. Now, while that works sometimes in faster conditions, it's actually better in slower conditions to revert to the older style where you're more lean over and pulling the rope, I say, with the hands. Now, I'll go into that real quick here. Now, if you stretch out your body like that, most of my body's in more of a straight line from my hand all the way through to my foot. And if I take that same position here, it doesn't look as the same. It's almost all straight. The same here. So with the rope concept, if you were to climb a rope, you certainly wouldn't climb a rope with your hands out here, would you? So that's why we would climb a rope like this, because we're more muscular sound. So when we're in this position, we're more in that climbing the rope position to make the most efficiency with our muscle groups. So when you are getting tired, fatigued, going uphill, if it's slow conditions, that's where you need to be able to do this technique. And most people never learn it. So that's where I'm here teaching this technique of always having a pole on the ground and pushing with your arms and driving the legs forward by that weight transfer that I talked about a minute ago.
A tip that might help is thinking about holding your hand and your foot behind you a half a second longer. that will help you with your upswing. So the forward momentum on the pendulum with the hand and the foot.
So when you're striding, it's really important to plant your hand before your foot. And when I say that, I mean your hand and your feet are coming together, coming forward together. So your ski is at maximum speed at that point. You want to keep it at the maximum speed. So plant your hand before it stops, and you can maintain that timing a little bit better. Also, by almost hyperextending your knee here, you're able to keep your ski going without any extra effort or having to carry your load. That's also important with always keeping a pole on the ground. So by your body position being in more of this angle, it looks like I'm hunched over, but it's in more alignment. If you look at your back leg, through your torso, and then out through your hand, it's in more alignment. You also want to pay attention that your shoulders don't tilt. If your shoulders are tilting, that means that you're letting the energy in your pole bypass you. So what you do then is just strengthen your core and then make your shoulders straight, and that will automatically just put more pressure onto your pole, which you're trying to do anyway, as you're increasing your pole pressure onto your pole. You want to put the maximum amount of pressure on your pole when you're not even able to grip the pole. Just use your strap. That's why you need a good, solid strap system. The US Ski Pole Company makes a great strap system to do that. And increase the pole pressure, glide, glide, glide. Increase the pole pressure.
I've written an article specifically addressing this in the Master Skier Ski Journal, starting at page 77, 2017-2018 edition.
In all the skiing motions, it's important that you increase your pole pressure. So obviously I can stand here and push all day long. With a straight up and down pole, I go nowhere. So the more angle that I have, the more benefit of forward power and forward propulsion I'm going to get. So that's why it's most important. You get the most action if you actually have your poles way down here, but it's harder to push way down there. So obviously we're pushing somewhere in the middle. So don't push the max here, plant, and then add the pressure later.
In addition to increasing your pole pressure, it's important to plant your pole in different points away from your body. That's like gearing on a bicycle. On a bike sprocket, when you go up a hill, you obviously change your gearing, so you're more efficient. In skiing, we want to change our gearing. So the best way to do that is to plant your pole at a different location from your hand to your body, and the distance that it travels in that circular pattern, it's about a quarter of a sprocket, will help you change your gear to make it most efficient. So here in this video, you'll see a variety of different hand positions away from the body. As it gets deeper, the hand comes closer to the body. As it gets more gradual, the hand will go further away from the body. And with that, when the hand goes further away, it will actually extend further towards the hip, or even beyond the hip in some points. I often refer to the kick phase as the forward kick, and that's what it is. You can also call it a foot shift. Before we go here, I want to mention how to check your ski pole length on Classic. You want to stand on your skis, have your poles in the snow, and your pole should be just underneath your shoulder.
All the best with your technique. I hope this helps. I do private coaching. You can contact me at the email address provided. Thanks.